Hey everybody, today we're going to talk about how to cultivate or build self-compassion. But before I jump into that topic, if you're new to my channel, welcome. I know there are a ton of new people here, and make sure that you're subscribed and have those notifications turned on because I put out videos on Mondays and Thursdays and you don't want to miss out. But let's jump into this topic. So how do we build self-compassion? Because it's believed that building our own self-compassion can also help grow our self-esteem and resilience. Pretty important things, am I right? It also makes us less likely to struggle with depression, anxiety, shame, and fear. So you could argue that self-compassion is pretty important. How we treat ourselves shows others how we will allow them to treat us. I mean, think about it. If we don't believe that we deserve to be treated well, then other people can constantly take advantage of us. We need to feel secure in ourselves and our worth so that we don't have to look outside for any validation. Because when we don't care about or even talk nicely to ourselves, we can attract people who do the same thing. And we can find ourselves in abusive or disrespectful relationships as a result. And so the whole point of this video is, how do we build it? And the first step, and something that I'm sure a lot of my OG viewers are already kind of annoyed and they know what's coming, is to notice your self-talk. If it's negative and putting you down all the time, work to make it more kind and compassionate, and also know that self-compassion doesn't mean we have to only have good feelings. We could be going through a hard time and still be loving and kind to ourselves. And I'm just gonna pause there so you can really absorb what I'm saying, because I think a lot of people assume self-compassion or self-love means that we don't ever have a negative thought in our brain. But that's not the truth. We can be going through a really, really difficult and trying time, but self-compassion means that during that time, we're still able to show love and respect to ourselves. And my second tip for building self-compassion is to give yourself permission to not be perfect. No one is. I know I'm not. When we expect everything to turn out just as we planned and everything to be done to the eensy-beensiest little detail and come out perfect, we're setting ourselves up to feel worse. And so I know it's really hard, and taking this first step to change is always the hardest, but is giving yourself the permission to be imperfect. Know that things don't have to be exactly as we thought in order for them to be okay. And the next step to building self-compassion is to be mindful. Situations can be out of our control. Most of them actually are. And there's nothing that we can do to change them. So let them go. Allow yourself to feel how you feel without judgment. Just notice the feeling, watch it come in, and let it go. I know I've talked about this before, but some of my patients utilize like clouds in the sky, and they'll lay down and imagine their worries and their thoughts and their judgments being written on those clouds, and then just watching them pass, or leaves in a stream. You could even just imagine, if you can't get outside, because I know it's still winter in a lot of places, you can just imagine that you're doing those things and watching all of those worries and concerns just float by. The important thing is that we're mindful and that we recognize what we're feeling. We don't ignore it, but we also don't hold on to it and obsess over it and expect it to be all of these certain things. We can acknowledge it, feel it, and let it go. My next tip for building self-compassion is to mother yourself. Or you can just call it, practicing self-care if you prefer that phrasing. But consider what phrases a mother or your mother would say, or maybe what you wish she would have said. What would give you comfort? What does a close friend say that's soothing and nurturing? Make sure you take time to say those things to yourself. Take care of your needs, bandage any wounds, feed yourself well, bathe yourself, etc. And I know mothering ourselves can be a really difficult thing, but sometimes just think about how you would care for a loved one if they were having a hard time, and then do that thing for yourself. Or just find something that's soothing. I always go back to that word because that's how I take care of myself, is it might be a bath or a long walk where I can let my mind wander. Whatever it is you need to take care of yourself, to soothe what's going on, make time for it. And my next tip for building self-compassion, and one that I personally practice regularly, is thanking my body and mind for all that they do each and every day. We often forget how much work they put in for us and all the things they allow us to do. And I learned this kind of tip and tool when I worked at the Eating Disorder Treatment Center. I ran a group called the Body and Soul Group, where the whole goal was to get us to regularly be aware and thankful for all that our body and our mind does and having them better communicate, right? Because eating disorder recovery, a lot of it is getting our body and mind together, working together and back on track. And so something that I do is I'll go through a list of all the things I've accomplished this day or this week and thank my body and my mind for allowing me to do those things. For instance, right now I'm making a video. My mind is able to remember what I researched. My body feels well enough to sit here and be present with you, and I'm able to create this. That's amazing. I should be super thankful. And so it can be simple little tasks or more intense ones if you want, but just take the time to be thankful and kind to yourself. And this can be a great way to just get started if you find some of the other ideas that I've offered a little too hard. And my final tip is to be patient. Learning a whole new way to talk to yourself and to live your life is going to take time. The old habits that you're fighting against didn't get created in one day, so give yourself the time to try and try again. Each time being mindful of how you're doing, reminding yourself that you're not perfect and that that's okay because you aren't supposed to be. And a last little tidbit is keep doing it. It's a constant practice. Yes, it will get easier, but we'll have to keep doing it. Relationships take a lot of work, especially the one that we have with ourselves. This video has been brought to you by the Kenyans on Patreon. If you would like to support the creation of these mental health videos, click the link in the description and check it out. I hope you found this video helpful. I know all of us struggle with self-compassion from time to time, and like I mentioned at the beginning, self-compassion leads to confidence and resiliency, which are so important in life. So as always, leave in the comments, do you have other tips and tricks and things that you've done to help yourself build and grow and cultivate a healthy self-compassion? Share it, because together we're working towards a healthy mind and a healthy body. And I will see you next time. Bye.